George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation. It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, this is the first show of 2021. Yay!
Yay! I forgot
made it.
My little noise maker. Boo!
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? Because I haven't been out shopping, I don't even have those 2021 glasses. I got to get some of those. You know what?
Yeah.
For next week. Okay. But anyway, I'm happy to say Happy New Year to you, to your family, to everyone on air. To a shout out again to my mother, okay, Ellen Brackens, and my family, Tammy Gilbo and Fred Gilbo. Happy New Year to everyone. So how's the first, what is it, second day, George?
Third day
of the new year. So I know that you know all the principles. What was the third one? Of Kwanzaa.
Right. So Kwanzaa ended on New Year's Day, which would be Imani, faith. But the principles are very simply Umoja, Kujichakulia, Ujima, Ujima, Nia, Kuumba, and Imani. There you go.
You know what, George? Now, don't forget this. In 2021, before we actually end next year, you're going to have to take us through the whole celebration.
Okay.
To be sure.
Okay.
To be sure that we have time to dig into those and look at the economic principles behind each one.
Right.
But here's
right. Well, I tell you that. So we did do this, Vicki, at the end of last year. We did have Michelle talk about one of them in relationship to the principle of Ujima. So we're going to have people to dig that back out so they can hear that. Yeah. But
wonderful.
Because Ujima, I usually call it Ujama, but it's Ujima, which is cooperative economics. But to your point, Vicki, and this is what I've been saying around that particular principle, is I'm really encouraging us to really be more intentional. And this is what Michelle and I talked about around our business development. In fact, guess what, Vicki?
What?
Michelle is on in the second hour of the show today. Because you know, we did the show last week and I was like, well, you have to come back. So she's on in the second hour talking about the Upstate Minority Economic Alliance. But one of the things we want to emphasize is that we've just got to be more intentional, like what you're doing with deciding to be a part of the Salina First Development, which will be up and running in 2022. To me, that's what is going to build our community. But this is your segment, not mine.
All right. So let me go back. Here's, you asked me last time we were on what my New Year's Eve resolution or my New Year's resolution was going to be. And I said, I'll tell you next week. So here it is.
Okay.
This year, my concentration is on execution and education.
Okay.
That's everything that I'm focusing on. Execution as far as how strategically we are moving through with the plans that we put in place. How are we executing? And then education. What are we doing to expand and understand the principles around good economics and the things that are necessary for tools that we should use going forward? So we're going to start with education today.
Yeah.
You're probably starting to hear a lot of information on air about a term called dispersion.
Mm-hmm.
We have talked before, I'm going to go back to some conversations we had in the past. We've talked before about diversification. We've also talked a little bit about diversification, meaning that we have more than one type of asset or one type of tool in our toolbox. And we've also talked about the issue around, or as some individuals would call it collaboration, but it's actually what we're talking about as far as how things correlate and correlation around assets. Correlation being that everything is in lockstep or pretty much connected to and moves in concert. And we warned about looking at diversification without examining whether or not those elements were correlated. because you can have 5 different things called 5 different, with 5 different names, but if you open up the hood and they're all underneath the same, they are very much correlated, and how they react in the marketplace is going to be very much connected. But here's what's happening, and this is why I want to bring this up. We are seeing that now we are having dispersion. Mm-hmm. Dispersion basically means we sit in the same atmosphere, in the same ecosystem, and within the same economy, but the and are receiving the same inputs, but the outcomes are wildly different. And because of that difference, we are starting to see a divide between how certain segments of the economy are reacting versus others in ways that we do not expect. Let me give you an example. Technology this last year performed stellar. Energy was down almost 50%. Same marketplace, but the outcome, we were all living under the pandemic.
Right.
We were all living with shutdowns, but the outcome is wildly different. We're starting to also, and we knew this before, but it's becoming even more apparent, different segments of the economy as far as the populace, wildly different outcomes. So that we now are looking at, okay, and you've heard the terminology, a K recovery.
Right.
You've heard that, George? Okay.
No, not to now.
Okay, all right. Recovery, say, when we talk about Ks, think about the letter K. It has 2 wings to it, right? A staff and 2 wings. So one portion of the economy is going up and one portion of the economy is going down, yet we're still in the same, we're experiencing within the same atmosphere, within the same ecosystem.
All right, Vicki. So we're going to get more on that next time because we're right here.
Okay, fine. So education and execution. Get your pencils ready, get your notebooks ready, because that's going to be our mindset for the next 6 to 8 months, education and execution. If you have questions about just a little bit that we talked about today, let's go into info@brackensfsn.com or area code 315-930-4499. George is giving me the hook. So remember February 28th, because we're having the Black History Month Jazz Cabaret, and get your tickets now. But if you have any additional questions, I'm always available at area code 315-930-4499. And I will say at this point in time, our plate is definitely full.
Thank you very much, Vicki. And where do I get those tickets for the Black History Month Cabaret?
You can go on to the Central New York Jazz Foundation's website, cnyjazz.org.
Very good. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. And we are looking for a prosperous new year.